Segment 1. Why is PSquare's family falling apart? Before understanding why the family fell apart, it's worth understanding exactly what they built together. Because PSquare wasn't simply another successful Nigerian music group. They were among the first African artists to prove that music from the continent could compete on a global commercial stage. According to multiple reports documenting their career, the brothers sold millions of records, performed across Africa, Europe, North America, and Asia, and became one of the highest-paid acts on the continent during their peak. Every successful tour generated more income. Every endorsement increased the value of the business. Every hit record expanded the PSquare brand. Success solved many problems, but it also created entirely new ones. As the money grew, the business grew. As the business grew, the decisions became bigger. And once millions of dollars are involved, trust alone is rarely enough. That's true for corporations. It's true for partnerships. And as the Okoye family would eventually discover, it's true for families too. Looking back now, the warning signs become easier to see. Not because success destroyed PSquare, but because success demanded a level of business structure the family may never have fully developed. That doesn't automatically mean anyone acted dishonestly, nor does it determine the outcome of the ongoing legal proceedings. But according to the public reporting surrounding the dispute, rapid success placed extraordinary pressure on relationships that had once depended almost entirely on trust. Sometimes, success doesn't expose a family's strengths. It exposes the weaknesses that were already there. PSquare, the family behind the music. Before we begin, it's important to note that this story involves an active court case in Nigeria. Much of what you're about to hear comes from public interviews, court proceedings, social media posts, and reporting by Punch Nigeria, NotJustOk, Pulse Nigeria, ThisDay Live, Spectrum Daily, and other Nigerian media outlets. Throughout this documentary, we'll identify when information comes from those reports, when something is an allegation, and when a fact has been confirmed through court proceedings or official records. Where claims remain disputed, we'll say so. With that in mind, let's go back to where it all began. The family business. Peter and Paul Okoye were born in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. They're identical twins. Although Paul is technically the older twin, the difference is measured in minutes rather than years. Growing up, music quickly became something they shared. Long before they became household names, the brothers were performing together, entering talent competitions, and developing the chemistry that would eventually define one of Africa's most successful music groups. According to Pulse Nigeria's timeline of the group's history, the twins officially formed PSquare in 2003. What followed was one of the fastest rises Nigerian music had seen. Albums such as Get Squared, Game Over, Danger, and later The Invasion produced hit after hit. Songs like Busybody, Do Me, No One Like You Personally, and Chop My Money became staples across radio stations, clubs, weddings, and concerts throughout Africa and beyond. For years, PSquare seemed unstoppable. Every album performed. Every tour attracted enormous crowds. Every award reinforced their position as one of the continent's biggest acts. To the public, it looked like a partnership built on complete trust. But behind every successful artist is usually someone handling the business. For PSquare, that person was their older brother, Jude Okoye. Jude wasn't simply family. He was their longtime manager. He negotiated contracts, oversaw business operations, managed relationships with promoters, handled financial matters. And according to multiple reports documenting PSquare's history, much of the group's commercial success passed through his management. Peter and Paul, artists. Jude, manager. For many years, that arrangement appeared to work. It made sense. The artists focused on making music. The manager handled everything else. And because they were brothers, trust often replaced the formal structures many companies rely on. But success changes businesses. It also changes families. As PSquare grew into a multi-million-dollar brand, so did the complexity of the business behind it. Questions naturally became more complicated. Who owns what? Who controls company decisions? How are royalties distributed? Who authorizes payments? Who has access to company accounts? Those aren't unusual questions inside any successful business. But they're far more difficult when everyone involved shares the same surname. According to Pulse Nigeria's reporting, disagreements over management and finances gradually became more frequent behind closed doors. Fans rarely saw those disagreements. Concerts continued. Albums kept coming. The brand remained as strong as ever. From the outside, nothing appeared to be wrong. But privately, the foundation holding PSquare together was beginning to weaken. And like many family disputes, the first cracks didn't appear overnight. They grew slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, until eventually, they could no longer be hidden. What finally brought those private disagreements into public view? According to multiple reports, the answer begins with money. And once money entered the conversation, nothing about the PSquare story would ever be the same. Segment 2. Money at the center. If you ask most fans what ended PSquare, you'll probably hear different answers. Some will say ego. Others will say creative differences. Some blame poor communication. But according to multiple reports covering the family's dispute, one issue sits at the center of almost every disagreement. Money. More specifically, who controlled it, how it was managed, and whether everyone received what they were entitled to. As this story moves into an active legal case, it's important to separate allegations from confirmed legal developments. Throughout this section, we'll distinguish between what has been alleged by the parties involved and what has been confirmed through court proceedings. That distinction matters. The petition. According to NotJustOk, the turning point came in August 2023. Peter Okoye reportedly submitted a formal petition to Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, better known as the EFCC. According to that report, Peter alleged that PSquare royalties and company funds had been diverted through another business connected to Jude Okoye. Those were Peter's allegations. At that stage, they had not been tested in court. But the petition would eventually trigger an investigation that would bring a private family dispute into the public spotlight. The two companies. According to NotJustOk, one of the central issues involved two companies with remarkably similar names. The first was Northside Entertainment. According to the reporting, this was the original company jointly associated with the PSquare business. The second was Northside Music Limited. According to Peter's allegations, as reported by NotJustOk, this separate company was registered solely to Jude Okoye and his wife, Ifeoma Okoye. The report further states that Peter alleged he was unaware of the company's existence and believed royalties that should have passed through the original business were instead being directed elsewhere. Those allegations became one of the key issues surrounding the dispute. Jude Okoye has denied those allegations. According to NotJustOk, he has consistently maintained that he committed no wrongdoing. At this point, it's important to note that these competing claims remain part of ongoing legal proceedings. The EFCC case. The story escalated significantly in February 2025. According to court reporting by NotJustOk, the EFCC formally charged Jude Okoye and Northside Music Limited. The charges included 7 counts relating to alleged money laundering involving approximately $1.38 billion, $1 million and £34,537. According to the charge sheet referenced in that reporting, prosecutors alleged that funds reasonably suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activity were used in several financial transactions. One allegation involved the purchase of a property in Ikoyi, Lagos. Another alleged that more than $1 million had been transferred through multiple bank accounts in a way prosecutors claimed concealed the origin of the funds. Those allegations now form part of an active criminal case. It's important to note that charges are not convictions. The court process exists precisely to determine whether those allegations can be proven. At the time of this recording, the case remains ongoing. Peter's testimony. The courtroom proceedings brought even more attention to the dispute. According to Punch Nigeria's coverage of the trial, Peter Okoye testified that Jude operated numerous undeclared bank accounts and further claimed that Jude and Paul had withdrawn and shared more than $800,000 between 2023 and 2024. Those claims attracted widespread media attention. But the story didn't end there. According to Punch Nigeria, the EFCC's own prosecuting counsel later informed the court that investigators had no supporting evidence for Peter's specific claim regarding the alleged $800,000 withdrawal. According to the report, the prosecutor told the court that Peter would need to substantiate that allegation himself. Punch Nigeria also reported that the defense presented company documents which challenged parts of Peter's testimony regarding ownership of Northside Music. Those developments are significant because they illustrate how complex this case has become. Public allegations, competing testimony, evidence being challenged, and a court still tasked with determining the facts. More than a legal battle. It's easy to look at this case purely through the lens of the courtroom. But behind every legal filing are people who once trusted one another enough to build one of Africa's biggest music brands. Whether the court ultimately accepts or rejects any of these allegations, one fact isn't disputed. According to every major outlet covering this story, disagreements over money and financial management fundamentally changed the relationship between the Okoye brothers. What began as private concerns about business eventually became police petitions, criminal charges, public testimony, and national headlines. And by then, the disagreement was no longer simply about finances. It had become something far more personal. Because while one battle was unfolding inside the courtroom, another was unfolding in public. A battle over something every artist values almost as much as money. Credit. Who created PSquare's biggest hits? Who carried the group creatively? And why are the brothers still arguing about it years after they stopped performing together? That's where the story goes next. So what really happened to Africa's biggest music duo, and why are they falling apart? In part 1, we've explored how money, business, and trust became the foundation of a family dispute that eventually reached the courtroom. But the story doesn't end there. In part 2, we'll explore an even more personal battle: who really built PSquare, who wrote the hits, who deserved the credit, and why are Peter and Paul still divided over their legacy. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who loves African music history, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.